They say that R. Kelly woke up allegedly on June 13th and he felt faint. He was dizzy. He started to see black spots. He got up and he fell. He crawled to the door of the cell and he lost consciousness then. At that point, he was placed on a gurney. He was taken by ambulance to a nearby hospital because they tried to take him to the hospital inside of or associated with the facility that he's in, but they couldn't help him, so they took him to an outside hospital. Now, they say in addition to this incident, this overdose, right, they're also pointing to the fact that R. Kelly allegedly has been asking for months to get some medical attention to a swollen leg. R. Kelly's legal team says that once he was taken to the hospital for this overdose situation, R. Kelly brought up the swollen leg, and they allege that doctors there then took a look at the swollen leg and they found blood clots in R. Kelly's right leg, allegedly, in his left leg, and his lungs, allegedly. But his legal team alleges that once the prison was contacted, R. Kelly was then removed against his will by guards and was not allowed to be treated.
In terms of proof, the most powerful piece of proof I can provide is the sworn statement of the man who says that he was solicited to kill R. Kelly. Michael Glenn Stein has provided us with a full declaration signed, and he's given his willingness to sit down for a polygraph examination administered by either side to testify in court. He has given us the details of who solicited him and when. And I think that's the key here. These are not R. Kelly's allegations. These are the allegations being made by Michael Glenn Stein, who's the person who says that he was solicited to kill Robert and sent to Butner to do it.
Prison insiders are saying it loud. They want R. Kelly gone. And it's not just inmates. Word is, the government itself is involved in putting a target on his back. Kelly just got rushed to the hospital, fast, after what his team says looks like a straight-up poison attempt. His lawyer's calling this a full-blown murder setup, and guess who's being named at the center of it all? Jay-Z and Roc Nation. You heard that right. According to Kelly's lawyer, the man behind bars who tried to take him out straight up confessed. He allegedly told authorities someone powerful sent him to silence Kelly before he could speak. Why? Because Kelly, apparently, has some heavy info that could blow up some of the biggest names in the industry, and Jay-Z is supposedly at the top of that list? It gets wilder. This ain't the first time these claims surfaced. Kelly's former cellmate Ronnie Bowe once said that Kelly told him Jay-Z tried to sacrifice him. That word alone is sending shockwaves across the internet. Let's not forget, these two were tight back in the day, making music, partying, traveling. But now, it's all flipped. Jay has since tried to distance himself, acting like he didn't know what was going on behind closed doors. But some insiders are saying that's cap. That Jay was involved in the same type of shady behavior that Kelly's being accused of. Now it's getting way deeper, because Nas just dropped a bomb, calling out Jay-Z's alleged connection to R. Kelly's dirty past. Yeah, even Nas is speaking up now. But right when Kelly started hinting that he was finally ready to spill the truth, boom, he nearly dies in prison after taking meds reportedly handed to him by the prison guards themselves. Like, come on, how's that just a coincidence? Why is everyone so pressed to silence Kelly now? What does he really know? And why is Roc Nation suddenly being dragged into all these messy cover-ups? People are whispering that there's a lot of dirt that could crumble some powerful names, fast. And here's the latest. Kelly's lawyer just confirmed he was rushed to the hospital after a medical emergency triggered by pills given by prison staff. This wasn't some accident either. His lawyer says Kelly had been begging for real treatment for months, and they still ignored him. And now, it's looking like this might have been planned. Not just medical neglect, but something intentional to keep him quiet. Before we dive into the Jay-Z and Roc Nation side of this twisted puzzle, let's break down exactly what led to this alleged murder attempt. Because the timing, suspicious, the players involved, powerful. According to new court filings snatched by USA Today, R. Kelly's legal team is going off, and the details are wild. They say that after Kelly got thrown into solitary confinement, prison staff handed him a massive dose of meds, way more than what he usually takes for anxiety and sleep. Basically, they overdosed him, and that's what landed him in the hospital on June 13th. But that's not even the craziest part. His lawyers claim doctors at Duke University Hospital in Durham, North Carolina, warned against moving him. But the prison did it anyway. Just ripped him out of there and sent him back like nothing happened. That's not medical protocol. That's suspicious behavior. And now? Kelly's team is calling this what it really looks like: a targeted hit. The overdose happened just days after Kelly begged the court to let him out, claiming he feared for his life. Why? Because he says another inmate was paid to murder him. Not allegedly. He's saying it straight up. Kelly's attorney, Bo B. Brindley, didn't hold back either. In a June 11th statement to USA Today, he said, "Federal officers have solicited the murder of R. Kelly because he intends to expose the corruption underlying his federal prosecutions." Let that sink in. And he's not just talking. Brindley told News Nation they've got a sworn statement from an inmate named Michael Stein, who claims someone offered him an early release if he took Kelly out. So why would anyone be out here trying to erase R. Kelly? According to his lawyer, it's simple. Kelly knows too much, and he was getting ready to expose some seriously powerful people, even ones with ties to the government. And this is where things get real shady, because guess whose name just got dragged right back into the mess? Jay-Z. Kelly's lawyer says the man who was allegedly sent to kill Kelly dropped a sworn statement, revealing that this wasn't the first time someone tried to end him behind bars. That's right. This wasn't no one-time incident. Kelly's life has apparently been in danger multiple times. Now, remember that old story from Ronnie Bowe, Kelly's ex-cellmate? In an interview with Hip Hop News Uncensored, Ronnie said Kelly told him straight up, "Jay-Z is trying to murder me." Let that sink in. These aren't just fan theories or online rumors. This came straight from someone who shared a cell with him. Ronnie even talked about how things went left between Jay and Kelly during their Best of Both Worlds tour. According to him, the fallout wasn't just business, it was personal. He claimed Kelly felt like Jay was jealous, insecure, and doing everything he could to sabotage him during the tour. Now this next part, it's straight up insane. Ronnie said R. Kelly was getting death threats way back when he was still on tour with Jay-Z. And according to Kelly, he always felt like Jay was trying to sacrifice him. Yeah, those were the actual words being used. But wait, it gets even wilder. Ronnie Bowe was supposed to appear on The Breakfast Club to talk about everything he knew. But guess what? Jay-Z allegedly blocked that appearance, like someone didn't want that truth hitting the airwaves. And here's where it really gets uncomfortable. Ronnie hinted that there's a deeper reason Jay-Z doesn't want Kelly speaking out, and it's not just about old beef or music money. According to him, the real issue is Jay-Z's alleged past with underage girls in the industry. And this ain't some made-up conspiracy. Ronnie pointed out how everybody talks about R. Kelly and what he did to young women, including the late Aaliyah. But nobody talks about how Jay-Z was also close to her and allegedly involved with other young artists like Foxy Brown when they were underage. Now, let's be clear, this ain't about saying Kelly's innocent, but people are asking the real question now. How did Jay-Z manage to dodge every headline, every lawsuit, every cancellation, while doing the same kind of dirt behind the scenes? It's starting to look like someone's been playing puppet master for years, keeping his name clean while letting everyone else burn. And let's be real, this ain't just some internet rumor mill. For decades, people inside the music game have been whispering about Jay-Z's history with underage girls. Multiple artists and insiders have brought it up over the years, and most recently, Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal came forward, claiming the whole industry knows what Jay was doing. They're just too scared to speak up. But not everyone stayed quiet. One of the first big names to publicly call out Jay-Z was none other than Nas. He wasn't afraid to shake the table. Back in the day, during an interview on Wendy Williams' radio show, Nas didn't hold back. He basically said Jay was no different from R. Kelly, and that he was fully aware of what Kelly was doing behind closed doors. Wendy even chimed in herself, saying that anybody who worked with Kelly during that era had to have seen some foul stuff happening. And instead of speaking up, they just ignored it. But Nas? He didn't let it slide. He pushed even harder, saying he didn't believe the "I didn't know" excuse Jay tried to run with. Nas made it clear, if Jay stuck around long enough to make an entire collab album with Kelly, then he probably wasn't just watching from the sidelines. According to Nas, it's way more likely that Jay was participating too. This ain't just about one man anymore. It's about a whole system that protects some and destroys others, depending on how powerful you are. Now let's swing it back to the murder plot against R. Kelly, because this story is way bigger than old rap beef or music drama. Kelly's lawyer made it clear, this isn't just about shutting him up over personal grudges. This is about what Kelly knows. And what he knows could burn everything down. His legal team claims Kelly has damaging info not just on A-list celebs, but on the feds, the prison system, and even the Department of Justice. That's not light work. That's explosive. And now people are asking, what does Jay-Z have to do with all of this? Here's where the puzzle pieces start clicking. Jay-Z has some serious government ties, and they run straight through his top exec and right-hand woman, Desiree Perez, the current president of Roc Nation. But that's not all. Desiree is also a former federal informant. Yeah, you read that right. Court records dug up by the New York Daily News reveal that back in 1994, Desiree got arrested for moving 35 kilos of cocaine and for being part of a major trafficking ring that operated from New York to Florida and Puerto Rico. She didn't just beat the case, she flipped. That's how she dodged major time, by cooperating with the feds. And let's be real, Jay-Z's empire isn't just built on music. From the early days, his team had deep street ties. Desiree wasn't some outsider. She fit right into the world Jay came from. But now she's sitting in a powerful seat with access to major legal strings. So ask yourself this. If Kelly really has receipts that could expose federal-level corruption, and if Jay-Z's inner circle includes someone who once played both sides of the law, how far would they go to protect it all? Here's where it gets even dirtier. Desiree Perez's husband, Juan B. Perez, isn't just some businessman. He's got heavy cartel ties, and he's been rocking with Jay-Z since the early 90s. They co-founded the 40/40 Club, and years later, Jay gave him the role of president of Roc Nation Sports. But let's be real, that partnership didn't start with champagne and contracts. It started way before Roc Nation was even an idea. And what they were doing back then? Let's just say it definitely wasn't about music. Now let's bring it back to Desiree. Because you're probably asking, how does someone get caught with 35 kilos of coke and just walk away with 5 years probation? Well, Variety already broke that down. She flipped. Desiree turned informant, cutting a deal to save herself. She didn't just help, she became their star witness. That's what a 2014 article from the New York Daily News called her, the Fed's star mole. The article pointed out a June 11, 1996 court hearing where Assistant U.S. Attorney Lawrence Feld praised her cooperation, saying, "The defendant has really worked closely with these agents." He basically begged the judge to keep her out of prison. But that article didn't just highlight her DEA cooperation. It also exposed her as a Manhattan club manager with a long rap sheet, deep roots in the streets, and tight ties to Jay-Z. The piece laid out how she went from criminal to cooperating witness and eventually a fugitive. And here's the shady twist. That whole article, it mysteriously vanished from the internet not long after it dropped. But social media, it never forgets. Screenshots of the original story are still floating around, and people are asking the same thing. If Jay-Z's top exec has this kind of past, and Kelly's sitting on info that could blow it all wide open, is that why they're so desperate to silence him? This ain't just gossip. Dame Dash himself was spooked by Jay-Z's moves. When Jay hired Desiree Perez, a known federal informant, to run Roc Nation, Dame pulled up to Sway in the morning and straight up called it out. He said it loud. People in Jay's circle, like Rockefeller co-founder Kareem Biggs Burke, had already been through serious heat with federal agencies. So for Jay to hand the keys of his empire to a known informant? Yeah. Dame called it spooky business. Now, put all of this together. R. Kelly's murder plot? It's looking less and less like some random act. His lawyer spelled it out crystal clear. Kelly's being targeted because he's sitting on explosive secrets that could shake the feds, the prison system, and the Department of Justice to the core. And Jay-Z? His name keeps popping up for a reason. His ties to Desiree Perez, a woman with a deep criminal history and a past as a federal snitch, place him right in the middle of this swirling mess. And here's the real question. Why would a mogul like Jay bring a former DEA informant to the top of his business? What kind of protection or leverage comes with that move? If Kelly's claims hold weight, we're looking at a powerful network pulling strings behind the scenes, willing to do whatever it takes to keep their skeletons buried, even if that means taking someone out. But trust, this story's not done unraveling. There's still more coming, and it might just blow the lid off this whole thing. Smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Because this saga, it's far from over. See you in the next one.